Gladiators were a pricey investment for their owners, one that could not be wasted. For this reason, they had a specific diet specifically tailored to keep them strong and durable during combat. Let's look at the key features of a Roman gladiator's diet. 1. Barley. Most of the information we are about to discuss here is based on Claudius Galen's writings, who was one of the most influential Roman physicians, and was even the one responsible for taking care of gladiators in Pergamon around the 2nd century AD. In his work, De Alimentis, Galen discusses the preference given to barley to provide the gladiators with the required energy. He wrote, "Wrestlers were required to eat a considerable amount of barley to put on weight, to develop a layer of fat that would protect them from being struck in competition." De Alimentis Galen. Barley was such a key element in the gladiators' diet that they were called hordearii, or barley eaters. As we discussed in another video about the diet of Roman slaves, barley could be enjoyed in a variety of ways: bread, porridge, soups, and many other recipes. In fact, if you still have not watched it, I'll include this video about the diet of slaves here on the card for you to check out later. Besides, eating barley among gladiators is also documented by Pliny the Elder, one of the leading authors of the 1st century AD, who emphasized the grain's beneficial qualities. Pliny writes in his work, Naturalis Historia, the gladiators who contest the games are fed mainly on barley, giving them considerable strength and impressive endurance, making them suitable to withstand the harshness of battle. Naturalis Historia, Pliny the Elder. 2. Beverage with ashes. Roman gladiators were given a beverage made from water mixed with vegetable ash or minerals, which allegedly contained healing and bone-strengthening properties. During excavations of gladiator ossuary locations in Ephesus, Turkey, a staggeringly important level of strontium was detected in the bones of the gladiators, an element that is indicative of mineral supplementation in their diet. This data was read as a reflection of the regular intake of this ash and water, or ash and vinegar mixture. Galen remarks on the importance of mineral-rich diets and how certain drinks assisted in the recovery of bone injuries. While he did not mention the ash mixture outright, his work suggests that some Roman dietary practices involved mineral supplementation to aid bone health. He wrote, "Those who are training need food to provide them with sufficient muscle and strength, and also to protect them against the ravages of exhaustion and injury." De Sanitate Twenda, Galen. 3. Not that much meat and milk. Unlike conventional belief, Roman gladiators hardly consumed any meat in their daily diet. It was a more expensive item and often a luxury, available mainly to the upper classes. Often slaves or prisoners, gladiators had limited access to this food. Instead of meat, carbohydrates were prioritized for the simple reason that they could provide more lasting energy. Meat was deemed less important to the fighter's performance, and when it was available, it was usually chicken or goat and served on rare occasions, perhaps after a victory or at unique events and ceremonies. As with meat, dairy products failed to sustain the energy gladiators needed for long training spells. Also, milk could be an additional cost for the lanistas, the so-called gladiator school primaries. They probably kept this food for special occasions or for glorified gladiators. In one of his works, the physician Galen noted that milk was not ideal for those who engaged in intense physical activity, such as gladiators. He stated, "Milk is more appropriate for those who need a quick recovery, such as children or weakened individuals. For those in training, like athletes, milk should be taken in moderation, as its effects are not long-lasting and it can lead to fatigue." De Alimentorum Facultatibus, Galen. 4. Legumes. Legumes, including beans, lentils, and chickpeas, were a crucial part of the gladiators' diet. They provided an important source of vegetable protein and fiber, and were relatively low cost and easy to store, making them the perfect option for feeding large gladiator groups in the ludi, training schools. Galen referred to the importance of legumes and advised that they be consumed by athletes and soldiers. He wrote, "Foods like lentils and beans are much preferred by those who strive for strength and endurance. These provide energy without overtaxing the digestive system, allowing the body to better withstand exercise and prolonged physical exertion. De alimentorum facultatibus, Galen. 5. Dried fruits. Dried fruits, particularly figs and dates, were very much in demand in the Roman Empire and had a significant role to play in the gladiators' diet, mainly because they were a quick and efficient energy source. Moreover, dried fruit offered the benefit of long-term storage without spoilage, unlike fresh fruit, which made them relatively easy to transport and keep in the ludi, gladiator training schools. Gladiators could transport them with them when training, and even during combat. Galen wrote, "Dried figs are especially suitable for those who engage in physical exercise. Their natural sweetness supplies immediate energy, while their fiber helps digestion, allowing the body to recover more quickly from exertion." De alimentorum facultatibus, Galen. 6. Cabbage and leafy greens. Cabbage was one of the most treasured and widely consumed vegetables by the gladiators, both for its nutritional and medicinal benefits. Cabbage, when applied to wounds and bruises, was also supposed to help inflammation recover and hasten healing. In his work Naturalis Historia, Pliny the Elder discusses cabbage's medicinal and nutritional properties. He wrote, "Cabbage is a plant which not only nourishes, but also heals. It is a remedy for numerous ailments, and is known for its ability to replenish stamina after battles and intense physical exertion." Naturalis Historia, Pliny the Elder. Following combat, gladiators also ate a generous portion of green leafy vegetables to help replenish lost nutrients and quicken the healing process. Galen considered that gladiators needed to eat a balanced diet to avoid nutritional shortcomings and keep their bodies strong and healthy. This is why he not only encouraged cereals and legumes, but also vegetables and fruit, and argued for a moderate dietary approach, believing that an excessive intake of any kind of food, even those considered healthy, could be harmful. He wrote, "A diet must be balanced and limited in quantity. An excess, even of good nourishment, can lead to disorders and illnesses." De Sanitate Tuenda, Galen. 7. Spices and flavorings. While gladiatorial meals were straightforward, spices and herbs were sometimes used to add flavor to them. For instance, garlic and onions were regularly eaten, not only for their taste, but also for their supposed medicinal properties, such as increasing stamina and aiding blood circulation. Galen cites garlic and onions in his diet, emphasizing their health benefits. Garlic and onions are highly recommended for training, as they help to keep the blood healthy and improve circulation. De alimentorum facultatibus, Galen. 8. Food preparation. Gladiator schools, or ludi gladiatori, were facilities where they trained, lived, and were given specific care to improve their training for arena bouts. These institutions were run by the lanistas, responsible for the gladiators' purchase, training, and maintenance. One of the key issues in the management of the lanistas was to make sure that the gladiators were fed a proper diet to maintain their strength, endurance, and health. Lanistas bore a great responsibility for the gladiators, as they regarded them as valuable investments. Gladiators who trained in schools were required to be in top physical condition to draw spectators and increase their fight revenue. The Roman philosopher Seneca mentions the lanistas' crucial role in ensuring the gladiators' health. He wrote, "Lanistas are responsible for their gladiators remaining well-fed and prepared, since they rely on their strength and endurance to make a profit." Epistulae Moralis ad Licilium, Seneca. Food was prepared in the gladiator schools in collective kitchens, where substantial amounts were cooked daily to cater for dozens or even hundreds of gladiators. Meals were made by skilled slaves in charge of running the kitchens and preparing food for the gladiators. Often trained as cooks, these slaves followed the lanistas' instructions to ensure that the gladiators were well fed. The Roman historian Appian, in his work on the Civil Wars, speaks of the conditions and care in the schools. The gladiators are often kept in good health, with abundant food and rigorous training, assuring that they are ready for the fights. Bellum Civile, Appian. Their diet was closely supervised by the lanistas and the doctors associated with the gladiator schools. They adjusted the diet as required to meet the gladiators' training and recovery needs. They tweaked the diet as necessary, increasing the intake of certain foods before major bouts or during recovery periods. There was a clear hierarchical structure within the schools, where the most seasoned and successful gladiators often received exceptional care, including more generous or supplementary meals. These would often have access to better quality food, such as meat or dairy items, which were rarer in the diet of ordinary gladiators. This way, we can see that, even in the past, gladiators' diets were already thought of as a strategy to provide energy and muscle recovery. If you enjoyed learning more about the diet of Roman gladiators, please like and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.